like, that's over. Okay, so back to dating.
Yeah, so it's like I'm avoiding this question, right?
I don't want to talk about it. No.
You ain't tell me this question was coming. So
See, this is why cameo and I need a show.
So it's funny when you talk about like my approach to dating. And so there are certain things that I look for. And I don't look for, listen for. Honestly, I want to know if it's a couple things. Like, has your faith been tested? Like in a real way? Yeah. And the reason I say that, because I think that develops a different type of relationship with God. And it cuts out all the fluff that I've seen, and I think that I've experienced. And it also, I think, something that happens a lot in the Christian, or at least I'll say the Christian communities I've been a part of, some of them. But it allows us to connect to people in a different way. And because my faith is so foundational to who I am, and it's so fluid in terms of a part of who I am, I can't separate the two. But I think in order for us to connect, like, your faith or where you are has to be solid. And even when I say your faith, I get that there has to be certain things. Like, I get that there can be a season where you're wavering and you're asking God, like, yo, me and you, we not here right now. I get that. And that is not an indictment on your faith. But there are certain concepts that I would like him to be open to, and him to have some sense of connection with, because it allows you to connect with people differently. Because I as much as I'm hesitant to kind of say some of this, because I think there is no rule, there is no one way, right? There was a meme I saw, and I can't remember it, but it was something like, some couples are together for 2 years and then they reach the mountaintop. Other couples go to McDonald's and they meet Jesus. Go Lakers, go Alligators. Like, it was basically saying, like, there's not one way to do it. Right. And so when I think about the way, when I think about one of the ways I think are important in a relationship, I think there has to be some type of alignment with purposes. Because I don't believe that the purpose of marriage, I don't know if I have this figured out yet, but I don't believe the purpose of marriage is just solely so we can be in love.
No. And I'm going to remember to ask the pastor that. Shout out to Pastor Marlando from Sozo Church, because he agreed to be on the pod. I think I said that earlier. But I also agree. There's no way God is like, I just want y'all two together. That's it. There has to be a reason.
Y'all so cute. You know, that's
Oh, he don't be up in heaven talking about, oh, look. They're cute babies. Yep, let's put them together.
Yeah, look at them just walking. Look at them just like, y'all better walk. You know, like, I'm just
No, I 100% agree that is not the purpose of marriage, is to be with somebody. No, there has to be a plan and a purpose for y'all two to be coming together. There has to be. Yeah. That's so beautiful that you said that, because what I wrote down on my list, what I used to have on my list was he has to go to church. Now I know better. So I have now defined what that means. And one of my things is, you said it differently than I, but it's the same. I want to know what you have gone through, and let's talk about that, how you handled it, how you prayed about it, how God got you through. Because if I can't be the only one in the relationship who's gone through something and my faith was tested. I need to know how you have also gone through whatever it is you went through, how your faith was tested, and exactly what you said. So that is so beautiful, and that's what we have to learn to do. We can't just say things like, well, I want him to be 6'5", or I want him, whatever. We need to, how do I say this? Basically learn how to define what it is we want on a deeper level. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I didn't know that's what I wanted. And initially that was a part of my thing. Like, I wanted I think I said I wanted a believer, or and as I developed, I realized like that I'm also like a seeker. And when I say seeker, like I'm always asking questions. I always want to know, always looking at scripture differently, like just always searching and seeking. And whether I made this up in my head or whether it was real, but I felt like that having that seeking space, there really wasn't a space for it in some of our institutions of faith. And I could have those conversations with certain people, and other people, it was just like a wall, like, oh no. And I'm just like, well, if God is who God, the truth ain't afraid of questions, you know, like
right.
God is who God is. And so I feel as though that is a central part of my faith, and what I want and what I seek. And so also, you know, things like character, integrity, and let's be clear on what integrity is. Integrity doesn't mean that you're making all the right choices. Integrity is you being who you say you are to the best of your ability. Basically, don't be lying. You know, you can say
on fire, even with yourself too. That's, again, read the 4 agreements. Okay, go ahead.
Don't be lying.
Right.
And then, like you said, but that takes work, because sometimes I was talking to a guy, and I don't know if he realized that you're like, do you realize you're lying to yourself? Like there are things that I saw, and I'm like, you are not telling the truth. And I think you don't know that you're not telling the truth. And so there has to be a level, a connection with who you are, your core values, your principles. Because I made a list before, and it was so funny. And I don't know if I thought this dude was the one, but all the kind of check mark boxes were going off in this list. And it's so funny. It just seemed like things lined up, because I had made my list probably a while back, and we were on the phone, we were talking. This was like the day before Valentine's Day, like February 13th. Was it last? I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. I don't know. But we were talking, and and he was like, I just want to ask you, I hope this isn't too forward, but what's on your list? You know, girls get excited. Oh, he asked me what's on my list. Yeah. And you know, this dude, attractive, like 6'5", all of the things, right? I'm just like, and on his list was like, she has to go to church. I prefer her to have no kids, even stuff like that don't matter, but just all these things. And we kind of like, it just hit. And my list just so happened to be like right by my desk. I said, God, is this you? You know, that was what, I'm so stupid. I was really like, God, is this you? But lo and behold, he ain't nowhere near it. You know, nowhere near it.
You know why? Because something came up, and you know, like I said, I always write down notes. First of all, when you said the truth ain't afraid of questions, woo, Jesus, write that down. I need y'all to put that in your notebook, put it on your mirror, because even in relationships, right, we be so scared to ask dudes questions. So scared to ask them, you know, well, who is this? Well, I'm uncomfortable with it. You know, present him with something because we're afraid of the rejection and what he'll say or he'll leave. So write that down. The truth ain't afraid of questions. Boom. Now about the list. First of all, I no longer tell guys my list. We're not, that's not the conversation we're gonna have. And I do believe that on my list, it's gonna take more than 2 weeks to figure it out. So it's not like I go through and be like, okay, fine, check. Goes to church, check. Like, because it's deeper, it's character. It's about, you don't learn a person's character in one day.
Yeah.
And we get so excited when he is fine and he looks like maybe he can be the guy, right? Mm-hmm. And our urges, and we get butterflies and the JJ be talking. Then we think, oh, he's the one. When we really have to let him marinate on us so we can see, is this the guy, right? And I don't have a time limit on it. I don't know. My aunt and uncle, shout out to my Aunt Latanya and my Uncle Joe, they knew each other for 9 months, got married, been married for over 4 years. Okay. My parents were together for 4 or 5 years before they got married, been married for 40 years. So I can't put a time limit on it, but I do know that it probably takes more than one day.
It's so interesting. So you say that. Because listen, the JJ be like, no, but that's the one. Go, girl, go get it. Us, listen, all systems, go. This is our only chance. Go. Like,
eggs be talking, kids in there waiting to come out.
Like I just, but I it's so funny because I was going through that in my mind, because I think again we're forced to find out, is this the one? And I don't like that pressure.
No.
It's like it's so present, I think, especially for believers. I don't know if it's present for non-believers or people of other faiths, but it's like as soon as you meet a guy that has potential, the first thought, is he the one? And I don't like that. I don't want that pressure from him either. Like, let's experience it, because you begin to experience each other differently when you have these expectations that he should show up this way because he's the one. You know, like the timeline. Well, after, you know, he knew as soon as he saw her that she was the one. You know, like, well, he must don't think I'm the one, so let me move on, or let me ask questions, or it creates this unnecessary, I think, anxiety. And it goes back to that meme where it was like touchdown Lakers. It's like you just don't know how you get from point A to point B, and everyone's story is going to be different. But when you are looking for things like character, when you're looking for things like your integrity, you have to see that in action. And I think over time, and I think also in the little things, and also to build, at least depending on what you want and depending on, you know, however you do your relationship. I know I desire to be like friends,
and that's what was coming up in my mind. Data collection. We got to be making friends first.
Like friends, like good, just like where if it ain't nothing but me, you, in a tent, we can have the most fun in the world. But then if we flip the script and we are in, what is it, Hotel Blue in Miami or whatever it's called, same thing. You know, we're living it up like friend, like that sincere, because other things are produced from that, I believe, like the care, like you care for me as like you care for my spirit, my soul. Like it's just not like Mama JJ talking to you. You know, like you care for the entirety of Cameo.
Yeah.
And I care for the entirety of you. And I know your soul. I know your spirit. I'm the person that knows you the best. And I can be able to deliver certain things to you like nobody else can. And I think, I'm not saying that it takes time like that for everyone, because some people it's just different. But I know that's definitely one of my desires.
Yeah, you know, I could talk to Cameo for 3 hours, but to wrap it up, I do want to put a pin in that with the dating, you know, for friendships, because we also have to know if we like him as well. Like it shouldn't be, does he like me? Does he like me? Is he the one? Is he the one? Like we also have to be like, okay, do I also like him, and can I be this woman that he needs for him as well? Like, do I want to be the girl who cares about all your problems, who is going to be the encourager? Do I want to do that for you as well? Like, we're so caught up in, does he like me? Is he the one? That we forget to ask, are you going to be a good woman to him? You know, that's all of the work that we have to do. And again, I can't put a time stamp on it, but I do know for me, it's going to take time. So as we wrap this episode up, Cameo, is there anything we missed? Actually, let me ask it this way. Talk to the girl that was you. Was it 8 years ago, that relationship, or 9 years ago?
Not a long time ago, 9 years ago, I think.
Right. Talk to that girl, or even me, 2017 and pre. What does she need to hear now that makes her snap out of morphing into who this guy wants her to be, to become the Cameo today, to become Reka today? Talk to her. What is one tangible thing that she can be doing right now?
Tangible.
That's deep, ain't it? I know that's deep.
I know it is. I'm like, tangible is the challenging word because what I was gonna say, I don't think it's tangible.
Oh no, okay, well then say it.
I think it comes down to trusting yourself.
I feel like that's tangible.
Trusting yourself, because I think that was something that I hadn't conceptualized. Like, what does it mean to trust your feelings over trusting his feelings? So when something is uneasy, lean into that.
Yes.
You know, when you don't like something he did, even though he's trying to act like I'm the person, because it was emotionally abusive, act like it's my fault, or gaslight, you know, trust yourself, trust your gut, like lean into your feelings about how you like, don't acknowledge, like that's that authentically you confessions. You have to like, I don't like what he said. It made me feel this way. Like and articulate that and share that and ask those questions, because the truth was I was afraid to ask him some of the questions about why would you do that? Things I knew, like why would you talk to me like that? Why would you think that's okay? Because I honestly, deep down inside, I knew the truth. I just had to acknowledge it.
Talk about, I don't know if it's tangible. Oh, get out of here. What? When you said trust yourself, when you feel uneasy, lean into that. Reka needed to hear that in 2017. In 2015, when I got with him, I needed to hear that, because that is what it is. We feel like we're just tripping. So, and he's right. So it is what it is. Like, I guess I need to do whatever it is I got to do to save this relationship. That is so powerful. In fact, I'm going to figure out how to make that the title of this podcast. So good. And you're so right. There were so many questions I was afraid to ask him, but the truth ain't afraid of questions. Look, Cameo got a lot of one-liners in this one. See, this is why, ladies and gentlemen, Cameo King. How can